Hello, good evening,
Mhm.
everyone. We're finally back here at Community Advisors RSR. My name is Raimundo Reyes. The co-host is Eduardo Rodriguez from LULAC, District Council 18. How you doing, Edward? Nice catching up with you.
Hello, this is Ed Rodriguez. I'm Deputy District Director for District 18 here in LULAC in Houston area. I'm the Deputy District Director for young adults, and we also deal with a lot of civil rights. So I'm the Civil Rights Chair and the Immigration Chair, and right now I'm trying to do more in our community. But in order to do that, we have to go and reach out to different politicians and different people and the different leaders in the community. So here we are. We've been out of the picture for a little while. It's not unusual. Everybody has been because of what's going on. Everybody's trying to get back on in the normal cycle of things. We had a really good idea that started about a year and a half ago, and then we ended up because of COVID having to slow down. Um, but we're back in trying to get things done, and we're working on some things that once we're able to get back out of the house into offices and stuff full time, we're going to try to even see if we can get us an office or some place that we can set up a little studio and do these things more regular and more professional. We've gotten some great response, but now we've got to go and target very specific people like yourselves. So be ready. We've got some good stuff coming up this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, there's a lot that has changed since we last met in politics, uh, national level, and in the state level, locally. As you know, there's still some crisis going on or some problems going on south of the border. There's still uh, migrants crossing the border, and there's a problem with unaccompanied minors, and even thought that it has the major news channels have brought less attention to it. It's still going on. There's less protests as of today because there's a president and vice president, and there's essentially the federal government at the level. It's all Democrat, and there's no much news about it. There's no protests, but the problem is still going on. It hasn't been solved up to today. Still a crisis on there. You can always Google some articles, look at the articles, read them. You can always read something that you might think that is Republican, something that might be Democrat, meaning right and left and right. Make your own decisions. As of today, for us Hispanic and Latinos, uh, Tejanos, Chicanos, everyone who is Hispanic and Latino, there's still a problem going on with that. Hopefully, at some point, they resolve that problem. Uh, in politics, as of today, also, there was a new mayor elected in McAllen, Texas. He's Republican. It was a big thing that happened there because Republican, and it's close to the border. Usually, it's Democrats who win there. That's at that level in politics. On the city level, there's here for Houston, locally for us here in Houston, there's a lot of things that are happening. Edward is working on all of them, but a lot of things that are interesting to help community members. And I engage with him and with other politicians and community activists uh, to try to solve problems and issues where there's discrimination. And you can always Google some articles. There's going to be some things that you might see that has happened to some Hispanic and Latinas. And there's many things going on. Stay informed. Edward.
There's a lot of things that we've got going on this year, and there's a lot of things that we had to catch up on. So much has happened since we had an opportunity to talk just one on one with you guys since last time, and that was, since then we've had major problems with immigration down along the border. Like Raimundo said, we've got a new president, we've got a new mayor down in the valley. We have some other things that are going on in the valley. We have a guy by the name of Elon Musk who is literally building a city called Space City down on Boca Chica. And if anybody's familiar with our, down in the Rio Grande Valley, that is literally right at the very tip of Texas. You cannot get any further than that. And he's building a big city down there, and he's having some problems with some of the local politicians and governing agencies. So we'll talk about that and how the new mayor is going to be a part of that, or if he even has any ideas on that. Here locally in Harris County, we've got our sheriff may be leaving us, going on to become the next director of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We haven't had him go out there. We've got somebody that's going to need to replace him here locally. Our county commissioners are responsible for bringing that person in and setting him up. At the same time, we have a constable, precinct 1, who's in trouble, really big trouble. He's more than likely going to be asked to step down. And if he is, that position that is also going to be open. And again, the county commissioners have the option to put whoever they want to in there without the people, having to say so. So there's a lot of things that are going on locally, and we're working on some civil rights issues, and we're working on some other things that we're trying to get accomplished. LULAC, for instance, we're trying to put out a message, a more positive message, and we're trying to build our membership within the 25 communities that we're in charge of here locally. And there's a lot of work for us. To give you an example, today I met with one of my partners, and he made a statement today that kind of caught me a little bit off. And I want to tell you what it is, because to me it was very important that it made me think, what am I doing wrong? As a community leader, what am I doing wrong? And what he said was, he was referring that to some of the neighborhoods in the Houston area almost make you feel like you're in a third world country, like you're in Central America or South America, because we have, literally livestock like goats and chickens, and it just seems like you're in a whole totally different country. And he says, I was in a predominantly Hispanic community. Well, I can't call them Hispanic because they're actually El Salvadorian or Guatemalan. Um, that bothered me, and it should bother you, but not because he meant, something bad. He didn't mean anything bad by it. That's how he was trained. That's how he's being taught by our schools here, and that happens because we don't have our own schools. We don't have our own people teaching, our own doctors and our own professors and all that stuff, teaching our people our culture. So that's, so I can't get mad at him. That's not his fault. It's my fault. It's mine, and every community leader that's out there right now that's trying to do something for our people. It's our fault, because we should be addressing that. If I'd been doing my job right, and everybody that works with me and all my counterparts, if we've been doing our job right, like we think we are, and we go out there and we talk before the TV and press conferences and everybody else, and we act like we know what we're doing. Well, if we actually were doing it right, that man should have never said that. So we failed you, and I'm sorry, but we're going to, at least I can say, I'm going to work extra hard this year trying to get that changed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your work that you do for the community. And if someone wants to get involved, and if the sheriff moves on to bigger things, the current sheriff, Ed Gonzalez, if he moves to bigger things, better things, and eyes to manage that or see that, I recommend our good colleague here, Edward, to be the new sheriff. If someone can call and start calling those commissioners, their phone number is public, their data is public. You can call them, they're your representative for the county. Call them, let them know that you know someone from the community whose name is Edward Rodriguez from Lula, District 18. Tell him that he's a good fit. He has all the qualifications. You can see his resume, you'll be amazed. Once you see his resume and the work that he does for the community, it's a great person, great background, less politics, more work, and we'll get the job done. We need people who get the job done. There's a lot of politics that happens in the city and the county. Nothing wrong if those folks want to continue that, but issues, we have to resolve them. In terms of what's happening, and also like Edward mentioned, there's things happening on precinct 1. There needs a change. There has to be a change there. That change needs to happen. We have seen it since the previous election. we need a Hispanic person to be appointed to that office as of today. That person needs to step down, and we need a Hispanic in there. That's something that needs to happen. The current constable acknowledged that he neglected. He still continues to neglect the Hispanic Latino community. And that's something that he says. Now he's in big trouble for something that he has done towards the Hispanic Latino community. And hopefully at some point, if he decides to step down, there's a Hispanic that is appointed to that office. And quite frankly, for the sheriff's office, I hope and I pray that it's someone that they select a Hispanic or Latino community. I'm not saying just because I'm a Hispanic and Latino, not because I'm a Hispanic, but look at it this way: there's an HPD person in charge now for the HPD is a non-Hispanic. We need someone in law enforcement who's going to represent us, who's going to lead one of the major law enforcement in the county or the city, who is going to represent us. In that sense, we need a Hispanic in there, and the Hispanic that we need, the person that we need, is Edward. Edward, any comments? Seems to me that we lost Edward. He's currently paused. What else is there? What is everyone issues dealing? What problems are people dealing with in the community? If you have any problems and concerns for civil rights, you can always contact Edward. If you're dealing with any issues, civil rights, or any problems in your community, you can contact your representatives. At some point, if your representatives are not answering the call, not resolving your matter, you can reach out to community members. You can always reach out to Edward or to me. Now, I always refer you to the correct person that I think will handle your issue. At this point, Edward, since you're back, any comments on
Yeah,
on the
one
sheriff?
of the things is like I want to touch just on what you said. You know, guys, if you feel like there's something that needs to be done, you got to tell us. You got to talk to somebody. The Hispanics are the majority in Houston and Harris County, but you would never tell that by looking at the representation that we have. You need to be able to start saying things, and I don't mean be mean. I don't mean being you know acting like a bully or nothing like that. No, no, you don't have to just sit down and talk to people and say, hey, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? You know, do you mind if I make a suggestion? Can you do this? Can you do that? Um, Most of the leaders they want to do good, but the reason that they seem like they're not doing good is not because they don't want to. It's just they're afraid that if they start trying to do something good, there's nobody there to help them, nobody to support them. They need to know that you're there. They need to know that you care, and they need to know what you want. How do you help somebody when they don't even tell you what they want? So I mean, you got to know if you're hungry, tell us you're hungry so we can go out and raise food and try to get you something to eat. If you're cold and you're sitting out on the curb because you got no place to live, tell us. We'll try to find something. Are there any guarantees? No, we're all human. We can't guarantee you anything. But if you don't tell us, I do guarantee you one thing: nothing will happen.
Definitely. And in the case scenario for us, particularly, we are underrepresented in many areas, and we need to start voting whenever elections are. There's going to be an election coming up for the mayor here in the city. For Hispanics, Latinos, whatever you call yourself, please go out and vote for someone from our community. We need someone from our community to be there. It's time that we have someone who actually represents us. And not saying that the person who's there, not gonna get reelected. He's done for his terms. But when someone who's gonna work for the community, who understands us more than anything, understands us, where are we coming from, what we need, not someone that thinks that they know what we need or thinks that they know how to solve our problems. Then they come in, they try to fix the problems. Instead, they create a big mess or start offending people, which happens a lot. Other than that, there's other things that are happening in politics and community. Um, um, example, we're trying to expand this program, getting more people to invite, like Edward mentioned, to invite to come in the show. We have invited some. There's still a waiting date that we're going to set for a program. We're going to get someone who's going to come and talk to us about resources available for the community. There's people who need assistance with X, Y, and Z, and there's money from the federal government that is given that we can use. And we welcome the mayor, the newly elected mayor from McAllen, Javier Villalobos. He's connecting.
All right, good deal.
So once again, my name is Raimundo
We'll give
Reyes,
just a few minutes.
and my colleague, my co-host and colleague is Eduardo. Oh, my name is Raimundo Reyes, and colleague Eduardo Rodriguez from LULAC.
All right, good deal.
Hello, Mayor. Newly
Hey, how
elected
you
Mayor
doing?
Javier Villalobos.
You're a little bit on your side there, so. Okay, did we lose him or?
I think it froze. In the meantime, Edward, can you state your name again?
Yeah,
I'd like to, I'd like to-
Eduardo Rodriguez, one of the deputy district directors here for LULAC District 18 down here in Houston, Texas. We're trying to get everything set up right now to talk to the new mayor of McAllen, Texas, Javier Villalobos. He's trying to get signed on, and as soon as he does, we'll ask him a couple of questions. We're hoping to have him here for a little bit longer than what he's asking, but we don't know yet. He's going to try to give us at least 10 to 15 minutes. And he is right now one of the most busiest people in the state of Texas. He is the first Republican mayor in the Valley in the last 24 years. So it's an interesting little deal. A lot has happened down there, and we're looking forward to trying to get him back on and talking with him. It's
definitely.
going to be, I think, an eye opener for a lot of people here in the Houston area because we are a pretty heavy Democratic city, like Rio Grande was until the mayor was elected. But it's an eye opener, and it should be an eye opener for everybody, especially the Hispanic community. It's supposed to let you know what, we can make some changes if we want to. We don't have to be, comfortable with what exists right now. Who's running the show? We don't have to. We can change it out, and we can do better. As in this case, they've got an individual I think is going to do some great things down there, or at least open some doors and shed some light on a lot of things that need to be looked at down in the valley. The same thing can be done here if you want to. You can sit down with us, talk to us, call us, text us, email us, whatever you feel like you need to do, and we'll try to put you in contact with people that'll help you get your opinion out there. What opinion? I don't know, and I don't care. I just want it to be yours. Okay, if you want to push for something, then push for it, and we're here to help you do that. All right, we're going to try again here. Let's see. He's trying to get back on board now, so let's give it about a minute or two, and we should be able to get going. In the meantime, I think everybody's going to enjoy talking to him. We had a chance to talk to him for just a few minutes the other day, and wow, we were thoroughly impressed. The staff he's got working for him, outstanding. Here we are. We're trying to reach out and understand what's going on. Excellent. So we're doing some good stuff here, hopefully.
Ooh,
You're almost there, Mayor. Almost there.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Yes, yes, we can hear you, and now we can see you.
There you go.
All right. Well, please, for the sake of all our listeners and people that are watching around, please go ahead and introduce yourselves. We kind of did, but feel free to go ahead.
Certainly. Javier Villalobos, actually newly elected mayor here in McAllen, Texas.
Wow. Is that something to hear? I'm gonna tell you what, I was working down in McAllen area. As a matter of fact, I was with ICE. I was one of the deportation officers down in Los Fresnos. So our district was Harlingen and it covered all of McAllen, but that was in 96 through 2004. What a change.
And of course, you know, it's totally different. The population, we're probably close to about 150. But of course, the area is not just McAllen. It's if you're familiar, Far, Edinburgh, Mission, Palmview, Donna, Edcouch, everything's pretty much tied together. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about too. We get an opportunity. I mean, let's go ahead because I know we have not too much time with you. So if you don't mind, we're going to jump right into a couple of things. One of the things that people don't realize that here in Houston, we have Katy going to the west on I-10 towards San Antonio. We have Sealy, Katy, Brookshire. These cities, you know, they all seem like they're one big giant city.
Right.
And that's exactly what McAllen and all the area around McAllen is like that. And that makes for an unbelievable demographic as far as how you relate and work with everybody else. One of the things that's down there that's going on, it's huge. And I don't know how it's going to affect you guys, but I'd like to find out your thoughts. And that is Space City, Elon Musk.
Well, you know what? That is in Cameron County. It's about 80 miles from here. So it doesn't necessarily affect us. We hope that economic development that spurs over there will have some effect over here, but we're not sure yet whether that's going to happen. I know it's going to really help out Cameron County, South Padre Island, Brownsville, and probably Harlingen. And hopefully we can get a little tidbit over here too.
Well, listen, you guys over in McAllen still have the Top Golf. So, and if they like playing golf, they'll be coming to McAllen.
No, actually, McAllen is a place to be. McAllen's the place to be. That's where everybody comes. They come do their shopping. We have the fantastic malls, convention center, our performing arts center. So McAllen's the place to be.
Yes, yes, it's an outstanding and beautiful place. I love being down there. One of the other things that we're looking at too is how are the other mayors? Because I know you had an opportunity to sit down and talk to some of them. How are they receiving you, being that you know that you just got on board?
Well, you know what? Actually, I pretty much know every mayor all around. Actually, just had lunch today with a mayor from Far, from Mission, and Edinburgh, and we're trying to think a little bit differently about how we can work together and make it more of a regional effort whenever we do things. I think that's something that's very important. And no, everybody's fine. Everybody, I've known these mayors for a long time. So no, I think we're going to work very well.
Is this political, you know, mindset, the change that took place during this election? Is it something that the people there can look forward to, or is this, you know, just a fluke of nature, as they say?
I think last November there was kind of an awakening in a sense, because down here, if you live down here, you know that everybody's pretty much votes Democrat, or at least they used to. But now, fortunately, I've always said it for a long time, competition is good. So now that hopefully we start getting a little more competition with the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, hey, let's get the libertarians, everybody in there. You know, the more the merrier, but we cannot have a one party system. It's just not beneficial. I always used to say, when the Democrats are in power, they forget about us because they take us for granted. When the Republicans are in power, they say, well, not you, because you never help out. So we need competition. I think it's going to be beneficial. And hopefully it is not a fluke. I think people are more apt to say, you know what, I am conservative. I have no problem saying I'm conservative. I'm a Republican.
Wow, that's an interesting deal, because you're absolutely right. When I was there, things were a totally different mindset down there. And it's nice to see the change, because I agree with you. I think that we're trying to do the same thing here in Harris County, is trying to get people to understand that it's our culture that we should be paying a little bit more attention to at the moment, until we can get some good footing politically, and then we can start maybe, making some strides. Down there, it's totally different, because in the valley we already have a predominantly Hispanic electorate down there. So up here we still have an imbalance. We're the majority in Harris County, but the representation doesn't reflect that. So we're still working on those kinds of issues, and we can learn a lot from things like you guys are doing down there.
Well, actually, all it is, and like I tell people, look, you just reach out to everybody, whether Republicans, Democrats, Independents. I mean, the way you grow is by getting from the other party, from the other side. Now, don't push them away. Invite them, bring them in, talk to them, have a conversation. And that's the best thing you can do. That's what I did. I did it. And of course, my race was not partisan. However, people knew I was a former Republican chairman, and they were okay with it. And of course, you need 50% plus one. You don't need 100% of the vote.
Exactly. But see, that's exactly what we're talking about, is how well the people down in the valley are working together. We can learn so much. Today, I went to lunch with one of my partners today, and he made a comment that kind of took me aback a little bit, but it's something that we, the leadership here locally, needs to address. And that is, he made the comment that, some of our areas in Houston, Harris County, when you get into them, they feel like you're back in the other country, the third world country, because they have goats and chickens and all this stuff. You never know that you're in a big, the fourth largest city in the U.S. And he says, but it was a predominantly Hispanic community. But he goes, well, it's not really Hispanic, because there were actually El Salvadorians and Guatemalans. And that took me back, because that's not what we mean by that. We mean everybody. We're supposed to be inclusive, right? So, I look at that as something that we, the leadership, needs to sit down and start looking at a little bit more, because we dropped the ball. If somebody's still thinking like that, especially right now with all the stuff that we've got going, then we need to focus in and highlight what you're going through and what the Rio Grande Valley is going through right now. That right now is a perfect example of how we need to transfer that to the rest of the state and show that we can do a great job in our communities. So I'm really looking forward to what you're going to go down there and get done. But another one real quick that I want to throw at you, that's really a huge problem. It was a problem then when I was down there, and I know it is now: immigration. How is it affecting, or what are you looking at as far as the city?
Well, we keep on telling people that immigration shouldn't be a municipal issue. Everybody knows it's a federal issue, and we shouldn't be spending money on it. And that's the only issue we have: the spending of the money of municipal funds. I mean, that's our local taxpayers. It's for the purpose. Our funds are for the purposes of, water, sewer, drainage, streets, public safety. And unfortunately, we're using it on public safety, but for the purposes of immigration. And I mean, I keep on punting the ball back to Washington. Look, do what you got to do. Do what you're supposed to do. Take care of the issue. Because a lot of times down here, they say the border crisis. I see it more like an immigration crisis that stems from lack of action or corrective measures in Washington. They take care of it over there. It'll keep people from coming that aren't supposed to come, or at least they will always come. But at least the numbers will be greatly reduced. It kind of helps us out. We also know that we need workers. Everybody knows that. Well, you know what? Then fix up the issue with the guest worker program. Do that. We also know we have millions of kids that are here under the DACA program. Well, you know what? We spend billions and billions of dollars educating them. A lot of them are very productive, educated. Fix it up. You don't have to. We always talk about comprehensive immigration. We want to take everything, and it'd be wonderful if we did. But if not, let's take care of one item at a time. Let's look at our DACA recipients. Let's look at the guest worker program and start chipping away. Why don't we do that? And I can tell you why. Because every time something comes up, other congressmen, senators want to tag on something to it, and they spoil it. So, I mean, it's Washington. A lot of the times, well, not a lot of times, specifically this one, Washington needs to take care of the issues.
Have you had any communication with the federal government at the level, with the president or the vice president or anyone in charge in terms of the immigration?
No, of course, just our congressman, and of course we discuss the issues, and it's pretty much what I'm just talking about. That they fail to reach any consensus because they want to piggyback something else that they want, and then that breaks the deals. And I keep on telling them, look, let's piecemeal it. Let's do one issue. Let's take another one, and little by little we can fix it up.
Let me ask you this: now that you got an opportunity to be the mayor, I know that one of the things that I learned was the people that are from the valley. Gosh, man, they got big hearts. They want and they care so much about their communities. So, what is it that you're looking for as far as your goals and stuff, and trying to get things accomplished?
Well, here in McAllen, you know what? We're doing very well, and a lot of people from up north may not know, but McAllen, we're doing very well. Economically, our cost of living is pretty low. Of course, our wages are lower, but our cost of living is beautiful. We are the 7th safest city in the United States, not the state, in the United States. So we're doing well, but of course, that what affects us more right now is traffic congestion and drainage. Because no matter what, just like Houston, we're close to the Gulf, and we get hurricanes, we get something, and we start having issues. So we're always constantly working on drainage, on streets, on those issues. So immigration, for example, causes issues, causes problems, but that's not a big problem here. It really isn't. And immigrants that they come through here and go to Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, other areas. They don't stay here.
Yeah. No, it's I know you guys have been working really hard, and you're right. Those issues are about the same as they are here in Houston. And no, I did not know that. Like I said, I left in 2004, and I was not aware that you guys are one of the top 10 safest cities to be.
Number 7.
Number 7, man, unbelievable. That's great, because I love going down. Whenever my son still works down there, he's a charter captain down in Port Isabel. So excellent. I go down there, go fishing, and then I go straight over McAllen whenever I get a chance. So yeah. I love being down there. It's a great place, but it's unbelievable how big of a difference has occurred in the past 10 or 15 years.
Yeah,
you really have come on board at an unbelievable time. I'm looking at the valley to see what what the rest of us can do.
But I got here 26 years ago, because I'm not originally from the valley. Of course, I came through from Crystal City all the way to Houston. I was in Houston 6 years, then moved down here in 95.
Wow.
And I've been blessed down here, but the difference between then and now is incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, it is. Well, what other things that are you planning on maybe getting accomplished while you're there? Because I know there's a lot of great things that are happening in the valley. The growth is phenomenal. I know that it seems like more and more people want to move down in that area because it's beautiful. I mean, the weather all year round, 76 roughly all year round. It's just a great place. Okay, right now it's a little bit hot, but
no. During the summer months, you almost want to melt sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. But no, it's. I know you guys are working really hard at doing some things. What about education wise? I know that when I was down there, like I said, I started in 96 down there, and like you said, you came in 95. There's not as big an educational or academic community as there is up like here in Houston. Here in Houston, we've got like 5 or 6 different universities and colleges.
Okay. And that has changed too. UTRGV is one of the main universities, one of the least expensive, but considered one of the best universities in the state. That's UTRGV. We now have A&M also here in McAllen in the Tres Lagos area. And of course, we have South Texas College that has over 30-something thousand students at any given time. It used to be a junior college, and now they offer 4-year universities. And of course, we have some different nursing schools. We have our medical school, which we opened up about 5 years ago. In 2027, about 6 years from now, we're also going to have a law school. So things have been changing. Wow. No, it's different.
That is great news. I'm very happy to hear that. I am. Wow, that's something that we really need down there. I know that that was a big deal for us. A lot of the guys, you know, we didn't know where to send our kids because in '96 things were a little bit different. They were really laid back, as you know. But yeah, we had to leave Texas. The kids had to go to San Antonio or Houston or someplace else to go to school. Yeah, we had, you know, the Brownsville, UT Brownsville, and all that. But if you wanted to get into the bigger, like the law schools and that kind of stuff, you had to move up and
Sure,
out. You know,
sure.
so to have something like that, that's going to be awesome.
Oh, no, no.
Wow.
We were very proud when we got the medical school. I think it was about 5 years ago. And of course, we've already graduated some doctors, so that's amazing. And then, of course, the law school in about 6 years. So that'll be great. And I think a lot of the times, once you get a little more educated workforce, you can attract better jobs, better companies, higher paying companies, and all that. So little by little, the valley, the Rio Grande Valley, the McAllen area is really getting up there.
So I'm guessing that your area, especially McAllen, is going to be looking towards trying to get some more federal funding for maybe expanding on the airport and other facilities like that. I know that that was a big issue too.
We're always looking for any type of funding, whether it be for streets, for roads, highways, airport, transportation. We're always trying to utilize the taxpayers' funds as best as possible. And a lot of times, what helps out is whenever we can get any federal grants. And just like any municipality, if you do it, it's very beneficial.
Wow, I myself am starting to run out of questions here because you have answered a lot of the things that I know a lot of people in this area keep asking me. You know, oh, let's go down to the valley. But I don't want to go to the valley because they don't do this. You just proved them wrong.
No, the
it's not like
valley,
that at all.
and one of the things we try to talk about is try to change people's perception of the valley. I know that when I talk to some people, sometimes from Dallas, even Houston, they think that McAllen is kind of a rundown area with bandidos running around shooting guns, and it's not like that at all. We have, of course, they think McAllen is right at the border. We're about 12 miles away. Okay, we're about 12 miles, 10. Well, the southern part of McAllen is probably closer, but like myself, I'm probably about 12 something miles away from the border or more. And whatever happens south of the border does not necessarily mean that it's happening on the north side. As a matter of fact, if you're familiar, there's a little place there between McAllen and Mexico, which is the city of Hidalgo. So, and even then, I never see many issues regarding much crime.
You know, even as an immigration officer, I used to go across the bridge to go have lunch in Mexico. You know,
Oh, the good old days. I miss them.
yeah, it was amazing all the stuff that we could do back then. But yeah, and that's something. But you're absolutely right. The perception up here is, you know, you're going to the valley. What are you going to go down there? Get some, you know, valley lemons? No, I'm actually going down there because it's beautiful. It's great down there. You know?
And we have one of the highest grossing malls in the country. Our convention center area is beautiful. We have amazing restaurants throughout. Our performing arts center is incredible. Quinta Mazatlan, we're about to spend about 25 million on some projects there. It's going to be beautiful. And so we keep on doing stuff that's beneficial for the community, the quality of life. So things are looking very well.
Well, you know, one of the things that we do, like I mentioned before, I'm part of LULAC, right? So one of the things that we are doing right now is looking to have our state convention. This year we're going to have it in Austin, but I think next year we were thinking about the Valley. I don't know if they were going to go South Padre Island, but maybe McAllen might be the better choice.
McAllen's a good place to be.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. I think that you know, I know that a lot of the people that work for us and work with us, they need to go down there and see a positive return on the work that we do, because we don't get that up here as often as, you know, we need to. But down there, when you see like yourself having the ability to you know, I mean, you look happy being, you know, being the new mayor. You look happy. Over here, even the old mayor doesn't look happy, you know. So it's a big transition for us. But we need to have that. We need to recharge ourselves, and it might be a good idea to go down to McAllen. Man, I appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing down there. And I can't wait to get down there and see my grandkids grow and prosper down there. It's going to be something super, I think, in the next 15, 20 years. We're gonna really look at it. Yeah,
Well, so can't wait to have you down here.
I'm be looking forward to it. Raimundo, you
Mayor,
have any extra questions?
yes. I wanted to ask the mayor if he can provide a comment or recommendation or like a motivation speech to all Hispanics in the nation who saw his election, who read about his election and the news about he got elected a Hispanic who was Republican, but just in general for all Hispanics, a motivation speech that you can give them so that they can motivate themselves to do something better with their lives, to run for office. We have a lack of representation in the states, so we would like for them to run for office. Me and Edward have always pushed that in our so-called podcast that we had our program, push for them to run for office. Can you motivate them? Can you tell them the good things that, about being a representative, representing their community, doing good?
So certainly, but in reality, okay, but in reality, what happens is it doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever. A story is a story, and I tell people a lot of times they don't know. I'm a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer, but what they don't know is where we came from. In Crystal City, a small little place, and we keep on saying, I keep on saying, the United States is still the land of opportunity. And here in the Valley, I've been here 26 years. But what I keep on saying is, look, where I came from, Crystal City, from our barrio was called Mexico Chico. Okay, my dad had a second grade education, my mom a seventh grade. So we keep on talking about hard work, about perseverance, and about doing the right thing. When you do that and educate yourself, guess what can happen? And so I use myself as an example sometimes, even though I don't like to talk about it too much. But look, I was out there in the onion fields and the cotton fields and the sugar beets and all that type of stuff. Education, hard work, perseverance, and you do the right thing, and you can do whatever you want to achieve. When I got here 26 years ago, I didn't know people here in McAllen. I wasn't a lawyer yet. I had just taken the bar exam and I moved down, and you know what? I said, I'm going to take a chance down there because a buddy of mine lived here. I got licensed, and it's incredible. It's incredible what I've been able to achieve. And it gets back to what? Hard work, perseverance, and continuing your doing what's right. So anybody can do it. And I say, I'm not very intelligent, but if I can do it, anybody can do it, regardless of your economic status or your race, your gender, your anything. The United States, America still is the land of opportunity. And I tell people, if somebody gives you a chance, gives you an opportunity, you take it. You don't abuse the opportunity, you take it and you help yourself. And that makes other people that help you feel good. And we all should help each other out. We should all try to reach out our hands and pull somebody up. We should always do it throughout our lives, no matter how young you are or how old you are. So that's something that I live by. And I'm hoping that maybe if somebody out there is listening, they do too.
Wow, excellent. I couldn't have said it better myself. Excellent, sir. Thank you. That's great. Well, I don't know. I'm sure that I know that I was told by your assistant that you only had a few 10 to 15 minutes and stuff. And
I can take another question if you all need to. Yeah, I apologize. I overbooked.
Actually,
like.
There is one more question.
Yes, sir.
Sports. Who do you guys root for down there? I mean, I know when I was down there, White Wings was a big deal. I used to love to go watch.
Well, yeah, that was back then. If it's baseball, we're still Rangers and Astros. If it's football,
is it?
if it's football, it's going to be the Cowboys in Houston. Of course, we have some people that deviate and go with Green Bay and Pittsburgh, but they're usually foreigners out of the valley. So
yeah, I hear that. That is so cool, man. Yeah, I'm glad that was always a big deal. I got buddies down there. They literally drive all the way to Dallas on game day. Oh yeah. I've
done it a few times. So
yeah, that's cool. Well, listen, Mayor, we enjoyed it. This has been an outstanding deal. Hopefully we can do this again and get a little bit more insight as you move forward, maybe in 8 months or so.
Yeah, just give me a holler. And once again, I apologize. I got a little tied up today. And then of course I overbook. It's a little demanding these first couple of weeks, but I'm glad to be here with you. And yes, I'd love to come back.
Well, hopefully I want to do what I can. I don't have a whole lot of influence within the state, but I'll do what I can. Luckily, Houston is and Harris County is one of the largest counties in the U.S. So I have a little bit of say so when it comes to the state and what we're going to do at the convention. So hopefully we can get down there, and if we do, I will try my darndest to see you can't give our key speaker, because I think they need to hear what you're doing down there so that we can get that moving in the right direction.
Excellent.
I don't know what else to say. I'm just very, very thrilled at what you're doing down there.
Excellent. Well, I do appreciate it, and I'm ready to come back whenever y'all need. Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining
All
us.
right. Y'all have a good evening.
Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.